Hello, everybody, and welcome to vlog number 6 for Vignette to Vogue. I hope you enjoyed vlogs 5 and 4. They talked a little bit about goal setting and styles of design as well as styles of fashion. And so we're just going to pick up where we left off, talking about my favorite design spaces and creating looks that complement those spaces or that are inspired by those spaces. So let's take a look at what we have behind us, the imagery that I picked for today. And I want to talk about how I symbolically used one clothing item, which is this coat, to kind of encompass everything that I see on that space behind me. So I want you to focus on the brick wall in particular, right? So let's close our eyes and think about if we were actually running our fingers down that wall, what would it feel like? Would it be smooth or would it be rough? Because we have different ways of experiencing things, and feel, touch, or tactile sense is the one that I want to talk about first today. So I would imagine that wall would feel kind of jagged because it's bricks. We felt bricks before, we know what it feels like. And in the look that I created for today, I have on a jacket, but the jacket also has what I would consider like a reptilian finish on it. Disclaimer, no animals were harmed in the creating of this man-made coat. This is a man-made coat. But they decided to create a reptilian feel over it. So the coat has a lot going on. The colors, the texture as well. And I wanted to start off by talking about embossing. So let's talk about what embossing is. Embossing is when a pattern, design, or text is added to a material through the process of utilizing heat and pressure to create a raised sense. The process results in the design being raised and feeling a texture with, from a textile point of view. And this creates a more beautiful and luxurious fabric. So for instance, you can't feel this, but I can feel the little nodules in it that make it feel like a snake skin. Just like we could feel that brick wall if we had an exposed brick wall in our home and we wanted to decorate that space, we would be able to feel those notches and the jagged edges of the brick, because brick is literally created brick by brick. And I wanted to talk about embossing and how it's used in both fashion and in interiors. So I'm going to show you some imagery of ways that textiles use embossing. Drapery, for example. Damask is one of my favorite textile designs patterns. And it's usually like a raised velvet feel that comes with that. And you can use fabrics like damask or different edgings on your drapery. You can also use that on your sofas, to create texture on your sofa. You know how when you put on a fur coat, it could be faux fur, and when you put it on, people tend to do this because the feel, because in interior design as well as in fashion, we want to create something that is visually beautiful, but we also want to activate the other senses. So tactile sense is a way to do that. So creating in the home, let's say you have bedding that is created out of something that is embossed, where you have a raised velvet or a raised different feeling on your bedding. When you sleep at night, it feels better. It's activating a sense of feel and touch. Think about thread counts on sheets, right? We have learned over the years that the higher the thread count is, the better that the sheets actually perform. So the lower that the thread count is, you might get beading on your actual bedding from moving around in the bed, But when you have a higher thread count, that is not even an issue. So you can feel better just sleeping. So fashion and interior design, keep those ideas in mind, making sure that the customer gets to feel certain things. Also, in terms of embossing, what I have on today is I have on a croc embossed boot. Again, no crocodiles were utilized in creating this boot, but it has a croc embossing. And you know, we know how to recreate those patterns now. So have you seen croc embossed wallpaper? I've seen croc embossed wallpaper in different interior design spaces, croc embossed handbags that I have and that I've seen. Also, my dining chairs at my home right now have a croc embossed leather backing. And I'm gonna throw a picture of those in here real quick so you can see it. But embossing is just another way that we utilize tactile sense, or your sense of touch, to create a sense of luxury, right? Luxury in interior design, luxury also in fashion. And lastly, I want to talk about another important element of interior design with regard to how we design spaces. So take a look at the picture behind me. In that picture, you see the brick wall, but you also see on the table, the banquette, there are coral pieces, accents, as well as the lamps are giving a shell finish. In my opinion, the interior designer wanted to create a coastal or beachy feel. But do you see how the interior design created that beachy feel without actually hanging a picture of a beach on the wall, or creating oars, or putting a sign up that said "Life's a Beach"? This is what interior design strives to do. A client gives you an idea of the kind of feel they want for their space, and we do a more high-end or artistic translation of what that would look like. So a beachy feel, you see the coral, you see the pots on the actual table are like greenish blues, which harken you back to the ocean, but there's no picture of the ocean, it's just kind of implied. As well as, I think there's a singing bowl on the picture that is tranquility. So we know that when we go to the beach, we're looking to relax. So all of those things are added there as symbolism. The coral, the bowls and their color, the shell finishes on the lamps to create a beach feel without saying, hey, I want a beach feel. So keep that in mind when you're designing your spaces. When you want to create a space inspired by a certain concept, try not to be literal. Try to be more symbolic. And that's the way that interior designers think about spaces. And that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful luxurious coat. I am going to be linking the details to this coat in the bottom, so take a look if you want to get this look. And I will see you guys in vlog number 7.
I let the coat do all of the heavy lifting for this particular vignette to Vogue. So the coat represents both the texture on the wall as well as the banquette table. The florals, the rose florals represent the corals. The green on the florals represents the vases on the table. The little tank represents the lampshade, and our croc embossed boots just remind you about texture.